Time now for the Daily Answer, sponsored by Salem Surround on The Answer Now TV.
One of my experts listened to Noah and I, and he wrote this to me. I just listened to your interview with Noah Rothman. His adherence to classic free trade theory is infuriating. The shipbuilding sector is the perfect case study of what happens when you allow the global market to provide. We lost a heavy industrial capability, the price of our Navy doubled, and we found ourselves dependent upon people that were not dependable. We are investing in a key industry because we recognize it is critical to both our national security and our economic security. Now we will build ships and make money doing so. Then we will carry American goods on American-built, flagged, and crewed ships, and we will make money in a global trade. This is a Mahanist economy, and we forgot how to do that, but we are remembering it now under President Trump. Mr. Rothman lives in a theoretical ideal world, and I can't afford his idealism. I live in the real world, in the trenches, and I cannot afford his idealism. You're not Noah, but you kind of share Noah's point of view. What do you think?
Well, I share Noah's point of view in general, and I don't pretend to be an expert in this area. I think two things. The first is, I said in my initial answer, and I believe that there are exceptions to our preference for free trade, and national defense, as I said, is one of them. And I think that extends also to pandemics. So if it is the case, it's an if, but if it is the case that the United States has been put at a naval disadvantage by some slavish devotion to free trade, then that's a problem, and it's an exception that I would happily make. Now, I will say that there are some laws on the books that are nominally supposed to prevent this, say the Jones Act, but don't actually seem to have that effect in practice. So the theory and the practice don't run in just one direction. It's not just the free traders who fall down holes there. But you know, if we are talking here about, for example, not buying technology from China when we're building aircraft, yeah, I agree. If we are talking about making sure that we are able to produce military materiel and that we need to violate the free trade rules to do that, I'm absolutely on board with it. I would want to see an analysis to make sure it was a good idea, but I don't have some sort of ideological opposition to that.
So the one step I go further is that we protect freedom of navigation around the globe. So if we hit every country with a 10 or 15% tariff, some of our consumers will bear that, but some of their industries will bear that. That's the subsidy we demand from the people who will import to our country for freedom of the seas that make shipping so cheap. Will you buy that one step further? I don't want to go higher than 15%, but I don't mind charging that as the global tax for what we do.
If that worked perfectly and there wasn't retaliation and there wasn't a global trade war and Americans didn't end up paying a lot more for imports, sure. But I don't think it's at all guaranteed that that's going to happen. And so it seems that just as likely is that we're going to end up continuing our role as the global hegemon navally, which I think is great. I'm glad the British Empire segued into the American naval norm, and Americans are going to end up paying more to buy stuff from other places. So I don't think one necessarily follows.
Right, there is a story this morning in the Wall Street Journal by former National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien. I'll have him on Monday to ask him. He suggests a grand bargain is in the offing with China. Robert's a very good friend of mine, as close as I have one. I'm going to argue with him on Monday that that's a bad idea. We can't trust the Chinese. What do you think?
I think we can't trust the Chinese. I'm absolutely with you. This is not like dealing with the United Kingdom or Germany or France. This is a nation that has domination of the globe as its desire. That doesn't mean that it's immediately going to try and affect that. It understands its relative position to the United States, but any negotiations with them have to be undertaken on the understanding that they don't want to be a partner of the United States. They want to be the superior to the United States. So I'm with you on this.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel. Stay informed anytime, anywhere with the Salem News Channel and 9:30 a.m. TheAnswer.com. This has been The Daily Answer, sponsored by Salem Surround on The Answer Now TV.